Alright, so this is my second attempt at 20.5. Three things played a factor in my score difference for this one. First one being that I had much more sleep than I did going into my first attempt. The 3 days before, or 3 nights before, I only got about 3.5 hours on each of those nights. And the second factor, when I am tired, I don't eat, basically. So poor nutrition, as in that I didn't actually had maybe one meal a day leading into it. And then the third one was strategy, which I'll get into what I did on my second attempt. So my plan was for my second attempt was basically 4 muscle ups, 12 wall balls, 8 cals, 10 rounds. Now, during the workout, about halfway through, I switched to 2 muscle ups, 6 wall balls, 2 muscle ups, 6 wall balls, and 8 calories. So still the same amount of number, just sort of broken up a little bit more. And that was to make sure that I kept moving and not resting on the muscle ups and the wobbles. So it was just something that I needed to do for me, because I hadn't put in the volume for the muscle ups, and today the wobbles actually felt pretty good. I didn't get any no reps for a start, so on my first attempt I ended up getting like 6 to 8 no reps, which is almost a whole set extra that I had to do. So I've never been fantastic at wall balls, but today felt okay. And the other thing that I noticed as well, or that I realized, was that with the row, I didn't need to hold like a 12 to 1300 cal per hour pace. I actually was around the 1000 mark, so just nice, slow, controlled, and that was more to manage the heart rate than anything else. So you'll see, even the whole way through the workout, I never actually, went hard on the rower. I was able to sort of keep that 1000 pace. Towards the end, probably around 6 and 7, I was around sort of the 970 sort of mark, but didn't feel I needed to push any harder than that, which is always good when you feel you can have a little bit of sort of active recovery during a workout. The other thing you might notice as well with my ring setup, it is quite low, and that is deliberate. So the reason behind that is so I don't have to jump to the rings. I can just put my hands up and grab onto the ring straight away. It does affect my swing and my kip a little bit, but I can manage that without any dramas. So all I have to do is sort of change my feet angle a little bit and have my legs a little bit bent. But I've been doing that for a while, so I'm pretty comfortable with how that feels. And I find that it means that I don't have to rest as long going into the muscle ups if I had to jump. So even over the rings over the rower they're only a little bit higher, but they do require me to jump obviously a lot higher. So I know from experience it just means I don't have to rest as long. So this is the end of the row on the third set there. So another set of 4. Slight break on the wall balls there. So like I was saying, the wall balls today, or on the second attempt, felt a lot better than on my first attempt. Again, I've never been... wall balls never felt fantastic for me. I have spent quite a bit of time this year trying to improve them, and I will spend the next year improving them also, because I definitely, it's something that I need and want to get better at. An easy test for me to know whether I've gotten better at wall balls is Karen. I've done Karen quite a few times, never at a fantastic time, but that's sort of a good benchmark for me to know whether or how my wall balls are going. So again, straight into the rings. I believe this is still a set of 4. No, first set of 2. So I did 4 sets at the start. Maybe 5, I lost count. So I was actually supposed to do another set of muscle ups there. So that's why at the end I had to do 6 instead of 4. So again, with the row, so here you can see I just ticked over 1,000 just towards the end there, but for that one I was actually holding about the 970 mark per hour on that, which is not fast at all, but again, I wasn't in any rush on the rower. For me, this workout was the more specifically the wall balls, and then the muscle ups, then the row. So here I do 6 wall balls, and then back to the rings. After a short break. So when I'm resting down like that, I was really conscious of how long I was resting for, so I was either taking 3 breaths or 4 breaths, just to keep on track of making sure the time doesn't get away. If I was to do this workout a 3rd time, I would actually try and stick with the 4 and 12 for a lot longer than I did, just to try and improve my time, which I believe I could. Having it done it twice already now, you really get a feel for what you're capable of and where you can sort of push a little bit harder. And I would actually keep the row the same. I found that sort of pace was more of a recovery than anything else, which is again really nice in an open workout, which I've never sort of experienced before. We've had a movement that I could actually sort of somewhat rest on. So that's what people that are really good must feel like on some of the movements, which I very rarely get to experience, which is always good. So again, here on the So take 3 or 4 breaths and then straight up onto the rings for another set of 2. And then 6 wall balls. So my first attempt here, you can see just on my like resting and how many steps I'm taking to get to the wall balls. Now all that adds up. On my first attempt I ended up with 209 reps and no split time because I didn't finish the wall balls in the row, which is again terrible strategy. I finished the muscle-ups, but that doesn't make any difference. So yeah, not great. This is another set of 2, another set of 6 wall balls, and then we'll go into an 8 calorie row. This will be the end of the 7th. So this is on probably the round where I started to feel it, like the heart rate really sort of jump up, or not jump up, but just get to a point where I'd start to feel uncomfortable, and hence why I start resting a little bit more. Not so much the length of time. I was actually really happy with how I kept my rest short, but the amount increased definitely. So on my first attempt, like I mentioned, I got 209 reps, which is I finished my muscle ups. I had completed 96 wall balls, and I had 7 calories left on the row. And again, no split time because I didn't finish the wall balls or the row, which is not great. Bit of a slow keep up from the muscle ups there. One thing that I also felt quite surprised that I didn't actually pull up sore from my first attempt, which I was really surprised. I know a lot of people pulled up really sore in the legs and the lats from the muscle ups and stuff like that. So must have been that my intensity was a little bit off. What I end up doing on my sort of round 9 is I complete all the calories and then complete all the wall balls to try and get a faster split time, and then finish off the workout with the muscle ups, where I have only 6 left. So it's after this one. So it's still there. I'm under 1,000 calories per hour. So again, just a short rest. 4 breaths, maybe 5 on that one, and then up onto the rings. And that's why I like having the rings lower in this situation. No jumping required. So on the first attempt there, looking at the clock, realizing that I'm not going to get it done, and the strategy that I've decided upon is absolute crap, and I just got to try and get as many reps as I can. Whereas the one on the right there, second attempt, always feel or know that I can finish it, which is always a good feeling. So 5 and 1, just a mental lapse there more than anything else. So here is where I decide to finish off the calorie row and then finish off the wall balls, just to get a faster split time in case I needed it, which I knew I didn't, but I was overall quite happy with how this strategy worked out. Definitely suited me a lot better than my first. Having obviously enough sleep and enough nutrition makes a big difference as well, but the strategy definitely played a part, because even if I was fully rested and had good nutrition, I'm not sure if I could have finished it with the strategy I had in the first attempt there. But definitely a relief to get it done. I played on my mind for the 2 days that I had in between the first and second attempt, and just thankful that I don't have to think about it anymore, because I was trying to go through different strategies that would work better for me, and decided upon this one, which I felt was probably my best option. So there, I finished all the calories. Now I've just got 12 wall balls. So what I decided to do on this last 6 reps of the muscle ups was, I was a little bit gassed, so I decided to just do singles until I sort of can catch my breath, and then string a few together, which sort of never really happened until the last 2, where I finished off with 2 in a row. But again, short rest there. I think after this one it was a little bit longer rest. Yeah, pretty good. It's amazing how much you don't remember after a workout, especially when you're pushing hard. So this is number 4. I got 2 left. $18.19. So, like I said, I knew when the workout got released that I could finish it. Then doing it on the Friday, the first attempt, was quite shattered, really, that I wasn't able to execute with any great sort of intensity. Just my body wasn't playing due to the factors that I talked about before. So what I'm doing here as well is, I know I just have to try and get as many reps as I can, so I finish off on the row. I ended up doing 18 calories on the rower to finish off with, I think. So there's like 1100, 1200. I think I maintain that until the time goes. But overall, strategy in this one does play a part. You still got to do the work though, so it doesn't sort of matter too much what strategy you got. As long as you work hard at it, you can definitely get to it. Obviously things like being able to do muscle ups efficiently and effectively play a big part. Your wall balls, if you're not good at wall balls like me, you're probably better off breaking them up a little bit more than most, or if you're really good at wall balls, bigger sets obviously if you can manage it. But really happy with the strategy that I come up with and happy with the end result. So I went from 209 reps to 1819, so quite a big difference. And that's 2019-2020 Open all wrapped up. We'll see you in the next one. Till then.